good evening. Some meat workers' families are feeling the pinch as the widespread Alliance strike starts its fourth week. With 4 of the 9 affected works in Southland, it's hitting the province particularly hard, as Michael Lynch reports.
Invercargill's Glengarry supermarket, opened specially for striking families, was buzzing last night. It wasn't so much any great bargains were offered. It was more of a chance to get together, share tea and bickies and accept a bit of moral support, however commercial, in a struggle that has no widespread community sympathy.
I'm pretty bitter about it, really, but there's nothing you can do. You've got to just keep on going.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But there's a real resolution among some families on strike, even though it's hurting.
Extreme pain up to now. We've got things pretty well organised.
So you'll keep on?
I think so.
Southland Federated Farmers talked long and hard about the strike yesterday. The province is drying up and feed is getting scarcer.
In fact, I've got to admit that I have had farmers ring me up who are very concerned about the situation. Okay, concerned for their own stock, concerned also for a cash flow that they had budgeted on, which they haven't got. And there's no way that they can receive any support from social welfare or any other department as far as that's concerned. So they're probably borrowing money to live on.
But Alliance and its chairman John Faulkner have come in for farmer criticism too. The company's monopoly position means Southland's hit doubly hard by this strike. And a solution seems no closer. The strike's now getting on to a month old.
After suffering a cruel financial blow last year, the sport of ice skating is alive and well in Dunedin. A big weekend of ice hockey and free skating confirmed this, and Ken Nicholson reports the sport has recovered from its problems quickly.
When the then management left town hurriedly last year, the Big Chill Ice Rink was in severe financial difficulty. But it's to the credit of all those involved in the sport that the facility has recovered so quickly. And now, the Big Chill is as freezing as ever, much to the delight of those who enjoy skating. A Southern Region ice hockey tournament signalled the Big Chill has ridden over the financial mess left last year, and things are looking bright for the new management.
Oh, for sure. You know, we've probably got the best, well, we've got the ice for the longest period of time in this area, or in the Otago Southland, and, you know, we have people through from Gore and Queenstown and doing skating. They come down for the weekend, and you know it's really good. You know, as long as it's supported, the rink will keep going, be open.
Ice hockey is certainly an all-go sport, and the weekend's finalists between the eventual winners Dunedin and Alexandra certainly threw themselves into the competition. And as far as other forms of ice skating are concerned, new overseas coaches are being brought to Dunedin to promote youngsters in the sport, with major championships being staged later in the winter. And as well as free and dance skating, ice hockey and curling will be staged in the Kaikoura Valley Rink, which is about the only place looking forward to a chilly winter.
They say inside every fat person there's a thin person screaming to get out. The problem, as most of us know, is that the thin person often doesn't scream loudly enough. But one Dunedin woman has let her thin person out, and it's meant a whole new life for her. Lee Davies reports.
This is Heather. At 33 years old, 1.7 metres and 76 kilos, she looks like any other woman out for a cup of coffee in town. And in fact, she is like any other woman, except for one guilty secret. Heather used to be fat, to the tune of 124.7 kilos. But for the past 2 years, her life's been ruled not by food, but by these. She's climbed on the scales every week and watched 48 kilos disappear. But that wasn't the incentive for Heather to lose weight.
Yeah, I'd come in for morning tea, loaded up my tray and come along and sat in the seat, had my morning tea, a cigarette, got up to walk out, and as I stood up, this chair was firmly wedged on my backside. So I sat down very quickly, but the people behind me had seen and were just laughing, and it just hurt so much that I thought, it's time.
Going to work was another problem. Heather couldn't even climb the stairs without a rest at the top. Now she can, thanks to a healthy eating program and regular exercise. And she can do dozens of other things she'd missed out on for years. She wouldn't look at herself in the mirror. Now it's a pleasure to catch a glimpse in a shop window, and it's fun inside too. Today she's looking for something to wear to the Weight Watcher of the Year final at the end of the month. And what a pleasure to choose clothes in the magic blue and green size range. Heather knows that to maintain her goal weight, junk food is a thing of the past. It's not easy to resist an Easter egg at Easter, but the memory of this is what stops her.
Good luck, Heather. An unsung heroine of Dunedin has returned to sing here after years on the opera stages of the world. Patricia Payne is the girl next door who became one of the world's best mezzo-sopranos. Now she's back to perform at the Dunedin Proms. Kim Haring met her at the airport.
At night, with noise and light, I will give his soul left, nor shall he sing again his rest.
It's a voice more often heard at La Scala, the Paris Opera and the New York Metropolitan than the Dunedin Town Hall. Patricia Payne left her North East Valley home many years ago to learn at the London Opera Centre. But soon she was in demand for those larger-than-life grand opera roles like Wagner's Erda and Verdi's Ulrika. Today she flew from that exciting life in London into Dunedin.
Both my husband and I would love to come back and live in New Zealand, but at this stage it's a matter of fulfilling the commitments we have abroad and then coming back and seeing New Zealand and other places as well. I think we'd like some slightly warmer weather than Dunedin gives at times, but that's a while ahead.
After New Zealand, what's your next international performance?
Actually, I go back to London and I'm singing for the English National Opera at the Coliseum, so it's all go. But meanwhile, I'm delighted to be here.
Patricia sings at the Proms on Saturday week. And by the way, if you thought her face looked familiar, Patricia's sister is quite a good cook.
If you haven't got it, give Kim a ring tomorrow. More music now, this time for folk fans. They're in for a treat this evening with a rare performance in Dunedin by a traditional Welsh group. The Calinic Trio from South Wales is on a 3-week tour of New Zealand, playing mainly at folk clubs and music society concerts. John McDermott joined a rehearsal this afternoon.
For 3 busy part-time musicians, the opportunity to play together every day for 3 weeks in a far-flung corner of the world is the best possible form of holiday. Their melodic tunes are belted out with great enthusiasm on instruments that were commonplace in the pubs of Britain last century. Peter Davis is the expert on a very basic set of bagpipes. And the exciting rhythm of the spoons is supplied by Pat Smith.
Well, these are really sort of 19th century instruments, popular people's instruments of a while back. It's still quite widely played in different places all over the world. This is a melodeon, this one. It's a sort of type of a button accordion. Works a bit like a mouth organ. It's like having 2 mouth organs strung together. You push and pull instead of puffing and blowing, and you get different notes out of the same button.
And tonight's public concert by the Calinic Trio is at 8 o'clock at the Pioneer Women's Hall. We'll be back tomorrow. Good night.